Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about why you cannot be good or nice to women, or why women like bad boys. Because here's the thing. Men and boys, everyone in Western civilization, is conditioned to care and look after the women. Educational institutions, the media, the workplace. Women suggest that we, are in a male-dominated patriarchy. And from a dealing with objective reality point of view, situation, yes, it is. But everything else after that is about the woman's and the female's fifis. And they are becoming even more prominent in our considerations. That's what's going on. Women are coming to dominate the social, economic, political situation. That's the stress. Now, this is why you can't be good to women, why you can't just give them things. Because the male is too inclined already to look after and to take care of the women. He's biologically geared towards doing it. It's connected to his hormones. It's part of our biology. So once a civilization, society, culture, group becomes advanced enough, it can start paying attention to women's wants and needs, to their whims, to their feelings, to their fifis. And that's what we're doing. But the women haven't earned this. This isn't the proper course of action. This is overindulgence. This is extravagance. And the men are predisposed to go down this road and capitulate and keep the women happy. So if you as a man trying to make your way in the world, maybe you are trying to get together with a woman, start a family, whatever, have a relationship, whatever. If you start giving the woman what she wants simply because she's a woman, what is she going to do? And this is what we're doing. She's going to demand more. She's going to expect it. She's going to become entitled. She's not going to value what is given to her. And how do you think the woman feels about a man that she barely knows who wants to take her out to an expensive dinner? She thinks he's an idiot. She thinks he's desperate. She thinks that he's a fool. And just as men are biologically geared towards pleasing and taking care of women, women are biologically geared towards taking advantage of men. In other words, if you want to go through some sort of social, financial mating competition, women are fine with just sitting back and letting men do that. And if you, as a man, are willing to become a male feminist, women are perfectly willing to just sit back and let you do that. They'll still tear you to pieces. As a matter of fact, it's actually less respectable because it's a man jumping through hoops to please women and to please the group. So nobody is really confident of Justin Trudeau being a real champion. He'll toe the line, for the group. But nobody's confident in his real, there's no real ability there. There's no backbone there. So it's a type of man, it's a type of behavior that appeals to a woman that wants to be placated. I'm going to say something. Not all women are like that. Not all women demand to be placated. But you can see how seductive and empowering it really is, especially for somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of ability. And especially in a situation where men are willing to let the women run the game. In other words, an unqualified woman comes into the workplace and men actually treat her like her opinion is valuable. Whereas in a group of men, the new man would be told to shut up and, prove his worth. And nobody would really listen to him. He would have to earn his respect. It's like a hunting party. He would not be allowed to come onto the hunting party and then do a bad job and spoil the hunt. Nobody would respect that. The other men, the other hunters would not be like, wow, glad we brought him along. They'd be like, no, don't bring him along. But in a modern workplace setting, in a modern political setting, it's like, oh, wow, that's a really great idea. I wonder where you thought of that. All of these thoughts are very basic proto-communism. We're going to form a commune and everyone's going to be equal. But we're not all equal. Some of us are full-grown, strong men and some of us are children. Some of us are really experienced and capable and others are manipulators of feelings and emotions. They get by causing trouble and manipulating the narrative. Sometimes that's all someone needs to do, is to disrupt a productive, objective, reality-based agenda. I'm sure that there are some men who come into MGTOW and it becomes their intention to disrupt intelligent, positive, useful conversation with men. Maybe it's their ego that forces them to go down this road, or maybe it's completely intentional. But I am sure that there are definitely men who come into MGTOW who intend to divert and damage MGTOW. White knights, champions of the status quo, male feminists, cucks, manginas, someone like Justin Trudeau. I've spoken about this extensively. When a person is not bringing value to the marketplace, and this can just be between, two individuals in a relationship. When a person can't bring value to their side of the relationship, what they do is they find fault with the other person. They impugn the motives of the other people, and then they present themselves as paragons of virtue, as champions. But since they have no real skills, the only way that they can do that is by demonizing other people. So usually it is this inversion of the good. It is someone who cannot do the job, who has nothing to offer on the job, coming onto the work site and saying that the other people there are misogynists or sexist, and that they, by virtue of their morality and their, superior ethics, should be promoted and valued within the group. And that those people, even though they're doing a good job, and it's just an accusation against them, they should not be valued. So they engage in this character assassination, this gossip, this destructive undermining of other people's reputations. If you're engaged in that, that's a red flag. This is of great concern to people who want to be productive in the real world. Not so much to other people. So I hope that you recognize that this is part of the struggle that we are involved in right now. This is kind of like wrestling, okay? You're in a hold, and there's a way out of this hold. But anything else? No. You're just going to actually, make it worse. You need to understand the dynamics of what's going on here. Women playing the victim, pretending to be oppressed, and thereby wanting special consideration and new rules and new regulations to accommodate them within the group, when the group is an objective-based reality meritocracy. The group is you are judged by your ability to be productive and to do a good job. Well, that's a very high standard. And you can see the ego, the personality that wants the accolades, that wants the rewards of being of value to the group, but can't do the work yet. Hasn't made the sacrifice, hasn't acquired the skills, hasn't put in the work. And you can see that they would use this method of tearing the good and the capable and the productive people down. You can see that on an individual basis. And you can see it within a group dynamic as well. People who are on government welfare, they don't want to get jobs. They're afraid. They don't want to lose their government welfare. Of course, and I'm not like, you can't be all amazed at that. The idea that they would actually be happier and healthier at a job, working and in control of their own future and not being a dependent is unthinkable to them. And it just fills them with fear. That's what you're up against. That's what you're arguing up against. Honestly, one person is stepping forward and saying, we don't want to create a welfare state of dependence. Okay? And it's the right argument, isn't it? But the other person, that's not what they're hearing. They're hearing, we're going to cut off your only income and you're going to starve and die. That's what they're hearing. So that's not a good idea from their point of view. That's what you're up against. That's what men, that's what MGTOW, that's what productive people who deal in objective reality are up against when they're dealing with somebody who's been triggered, who is emotionally unstable. This is the process that you're viewing in media. So understand that the attachment to the argument, to the point of view of the left, it's not rational, it's not logical, it's emotional, and it's instinctual, and it has to do with their existence. It's a genetic response. These views, these beliefs, this presumption of moral superiority, false compassion, virtue signaling that you see in order that people might be part of the group and the collective, be part of the in-group. The attachment to this behavior is so strong that it's ideological, it's religious. It's not a rational argument and debate and consideration. That's why they become so emotional and argue so passionately. Well, not passionate, with their feelings. This is why they are not so open to arguments, points. This is why they engage in so much character assassination, desperation, fear. This is why they're so hard to deal with. Recognize this. As a productive person, as a person who wants to be productive in objective reality, recognize this, that even though, it's a full-grown man like Robert De Niro with millions of dollars, he still has to signal to the group. He can't speak. He can't have his own mind. Understand, when you're watching a newscaster, a journalist, in many instances, they are completely unable to fulfill that job. Their opinion, their feelings, their emotions on the issues, their existence, their status and position within the group are so related to, the views that they express that to argue with them on these points is more akin to sacrilege. You know what I mean? It's like a religious offense to them. So you can't have a conversation as to whether or not giving people welfare indefinitely, is good for them, and whether or not they should or should not have a job. Because these beliefs that they have are so strong that to question them, it's not even that they're so strong. They're so required by the group. They're so given into without thinking about them. In any case, I'm going to leave it at that for now. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.